Hello everyone, Joe here from Draft FPL and welcome to a weekly series helping you find some good value free agents and waiver pickups in Draft FPL. I'm feeling a little bit rough this week, so I'm going to try and keep the waffle to a minimum, get stuck straight into it, quick turnaround, so here are my best picks for Game Week 13. Okay, so first pick this week, someone I've talked about before, it's Kurt Zouma. West Ham defence is pretty good, available in 67% of leagues. Absolutely fantastic fixture, probably the best fixture from a defensive point of view is Bournemouth at home this week. Nothing else to say really, I just think it's a fantastic pick. Mainly when there's midweek games like there has been this week, I try and stick to very, very secure players at the weekend and in the midweek, especially if they're coming off two games, third game in a week. I'm going to be picking more centre-backs, more absolutely nailed-on players. And Kurt Zouma does fall into that category. Next up, we've got Mykolenko of Everton. 84% of leagues have him available. And the next four fixtures are all pretty good from a defensive point of view, especially for Everton. Crystal Palace at home this week. Then it's Fulham away, Leicester at home, Bournemouth away. So four decent shouts for Everton. I think Mykolenko, Tarkowski and Cody are the three absolutely nailed on. Coleman looks nailed at the moment as well while Patterson's out, but just with his age I think there's a little bit more risk he gets rotated, so Mykolenko's the man I'm going for. Final defender this week, I've gone for Konsa of Villa, available in 90% of leagues, and to be honest I was quite surprised how many leagues had him available. There's quite a big discrepancy between him and the likes of Cash, Young and Mings. I think people just aren't that sure that he's going to play, but I don't really know why, because he seems to be the most nailed of any of the centre-backs at Villa, to be honest, because I think Mings, he's not in the best of form, whereas Konsa's been pretty solid next to him. And I think Gerrard's fighting for his job. Villa defence is all he has to rely on really, so I think it's not a bad shout. Brentford at home's a really good fixture as well. Brentford attack is hit and miss. It all comes down to whether Tony's firing or not. Then three kind of meh fixtures, probably benchable, but not a bad option if he does end up coming off the bench. In Newcastle away, United at home, Brighton away. So a definite good pickup for this week, especially. Onto the mids then, and I am loving the Leeds attack at the moment. I know they blanked last week against Arsenal. I'm recording this before their game in midweek, so we'll see how they get on tonight. But I do think they create a lot of chances, and there's points on the table. The most available of the three that I like, Sinistera, Harrison and Aronson is Aronson, available in 51% of leagues, so just over half leagues he's available. Fulham at home in 13 is a fantastic fixture. Then Liverpool away is tough, but Liverpool defence has definitely been fallible. Bournemouth at home is fantastic, and then Tottenham away in 16 isn't ideal. But definitely for Game Week 13, I think absolute no-brainer pickup and definite starter. Okay, then next up, a bit more of a punt, but I think the fixture kind of warrants it. That's Harvey Elliott, available in 77% of leagues. Forest away at the weekend is such a good fixture, and I think he's going to start, to be honest. I think the Liverpool lineup is going to look something like Darwin and Salah up top in a 2 with Elliott on the right. But there obviously is a chance he doesn't start. You never really know with Harvey Elliott, but I definitely think he'll get at least half an hour, and half an hour against this Forest team is probably as good as about 70 minutes against anyone else. So even if he doesn't start, I still think he's a really good pick. Final midfielder is Adama Traore, available in 96% of draft leagues. Obviously scored last week. Leicester at home in Game Week 13 is such a good fixture, especially for Adama Traore. It's the kind of he's the kind of attacker that Leicester have struggled with dealing with all season, and I really fancy him to do well in that game. And he's the kind of player that we have seen in the past. When he gets on a decent run of form, he can absolutely wreak havoc. So I don't think he's a bad pickup by any means. And the next three fixtures all kind of suit the way he plays. Leicester, Brentford and Brighton all play with a reasonably high line. All like to press, which is kind of where he's going to feast. So I think he's actually a pretty under the radar pick. looks like he's almost definitely going to play. I mean, he started the last game, played well, scored. I don't see any way he drops out of the lineup. And the way Wolves are, I'm not a big fan of Wolves' attack in general. They don't score a lot of goals, but you have to think at the moment he looks as likely as any of them. Finally then, forwards. One forward for me this week, and to be honest, the forward market now is looking very, very grim. Armstrong's available in 55% of leagues. He's probably the only person I'd say that I could find that's available in over 50% of leagues that I would consider picking up. And this week, Arsenal at home's not a fantastic fixture by any means. It's not a very good fixture, but Arsenal, they have conceded goals. They conceded a lot of chances against Leeds. They definitely can be got at. Adam Armstrong, he doesn't really have that cutting edge in the final third, let's say. He's got serious sort of Shane Long vibes for me. But I do think he's going to play, and that's kind of the bare minimum, really. So if you do have, a front line and you desperately need 2 points, then I think Adam Armstrong's probably your man. Okay, short and sweet. They're my picks for Game Week 13. I will be back next week for my Game Week 14 picks, probably a little bit of a longer episode. There's no midweek games next week, so I'll be back on Monday evening with a Game Week 13 roundup. So make sure you are on the lookout for that. Like the video if you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.